What is up, everybody? Welcome back to T-Dog Customs to another video. Boom. We have my hardtop for the YJ and we're going to, well, do some prep on this because, drum roll please, I am going to attempt to wrap this in chalk gray. I had some left over in here. I don't really know if I have enough or not. There. So you can see. I'm pretty sure I have enough to do it. Let's dive right in. Well, I don't know too much about wrap. As you know, I wrapped my Jeep. Maybe I'll, if you're interested in that, I'll link the video right up here. But I think the plan is gonna be, we need to sand this smooth. So I'm gonna sand it all smooth, which is going to be a chore, but sanding it all smooth. And then I think what I'm going to do is, we've got these, it's like sections, I call it. Like that's a section. And wherever there's a section, obviously, is where I'm going to put a crease. However, I might have, I can't remember if it's gonna be long enough for me to run one piece all the way down. We really will see once we get to that point, but the first point now obviously is to start sanding. Whenever you're messing with like sanding and these kind of edges and stuff, it's not a bad idea to grab you some masking tape and just mask off the area. Where's my chair? Excuse me, sorry. So it's not a bad idea to just mask off the area you're sanding. That way you just, I don't know, keep it from getting too scuffed up, I guess. Let's do a little reflection of, a little contemplation, reflection, see how this is actually going. So if you look, the lighting, I don't know if you can see this, but it's like splotchy. I wouldn't call it real textured, but there's a little bit on there. Very lightly sanding, that all comes off and onto my hand, as you can see. But yeah, it's very, very smooth with just a little bit. That was probably a minute of sanding. So this is gonna be very easy, a lot easier than I thought. I thought for some reason that this would be like, I don't know, like bed liner, I guess, sort of like that hard, but it's coming off super, super quick. So this is still not up as high as I would like it, but we adapt, we overcome. We've got a motorcycle jack jacking up a creeper with jack stands here and jack stand there, and this not doing too much, but I think I'm going to move this jack stand a little farther forward go. I like that better. That side's already set. All right, so now we can commence with finishing up sanding the whole thing. Got plenty of room now. And once we sand it, then we're gonna blow it off and then clean it very excruciatingly well. And then I'm gonna blow all the dust, as much dust out as possible, because if you've ever wrapped, you know what the deal is with that. I would probably say the most important part of this whole thing, like if there's one thing that I would say pay attention to, it's having a clean ground, like, and surface. Like this garage is filthy, full of dust, and so I am going to have some dust and stuff in between the wrap and the surface I'm wrapping, but the goal is to have it as clean as possible, because when you pull the backing off of the wrap, it's kind of like static electricity, and stuff just kind of gets sucked to it. So I'm gonna just wipe it off just with this cloth first. And you want to do this really good. Again, I can't stress it enough. So I am out. I'm completely out of isopropyl alcohol. So I'm going to use this kind of like soapy water. I'm going to use that to get in every little place. Measuring wise, 5 foot is plenty long this way, but it's not long enough to reach down to this seam, which is what I was hoping to do. And 5 foot this way comes to about like right here, so it's not long enough to make it to this seam, which is what I was hoping as well. So that kind of leaves me with two options. Either I can do it this way and then make a seam up top where you barely will see it, like you're not really gonna see it. So that's option number one. Or probably the better option would be to run it this way and put the seam up here. So if I put the full sheet this way, then we'll come to probably about like right here, and then I can just wrap this little nub. Now I want to wrap it with it overlapping, facing back. So like for an instance, we'll want to put this piece down, and then we'll put this little front piece that lays over it. That way, driving down the road, the wind's not trying to pull that seam up, if that makes sense. So we'll overlap it. And when this is up on the Jeep, you're not really gonna see the seam at all. Here is a kit you're gonna want. It's a basic like window tint and squeegee for wrap. So it comes with all the appropriate tools. You will probably want a heat gun as well. It tends to help having a heat gun. So I will put the link in the description for this if I can find it. I think I got it off of eBay or Amazon for sure. So, by the way, I think this sounds kind of weird, but comment below if you like the smell of film. This, I don't know, the smell is just amazing. So we've got it all kind of out where we want it. And keep in mind, we can stretch the film and you know, but this is pretty much it. The next step is the scary part, which is peeling off the backing. So typically what I like to do, what's up guys, I just want to jump in the middle of this video real quick just to say, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment if you've got any questions. And most of all, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to share with a friend either. If you've got someone who you might think might like the channel, well, you know, by all means, pass it on. I really would appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and let's get back to the video. I want to be very clear, I'm not a professional at all. This is just how I do it. So what we're gonna wanna do is I'm gonna start back here so I know exactly where I wanna place it. But you're gonna peel the backing off. Now this is Chalk Gray by Vivid. That's what I, you know, wrapped the whole Jeep with. But we're gonna take this and pull it down. All right, kind of stick it on here. We can remove it if we want. You know, we can still replace it. But we're gonna want to try to see if you can remove the backing with it on the surface you're wrapping. A lot of times you can keep it nice and even and it like keep less wrinkles in it. Again, I'm not a pro at this, but there's kind of some tips that can help. But now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my squeegee and I'm gonna try to just work from the center, kind of work from this center out, kind of get it locked into place. Now there's also a protective layer on this film, so keep that in mind.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
I guess if there's one takeaway from this that I hope you guys get is don't take advice from me on wrapping. Go to the professionals, because I made it happen, but it was not as good as it could have been, and we'll just leave it at that. At this point, when we're starting to do like folding the edges and everything, we want to pull the protective layer off keep in mind when we pull this off, it's gonna be real glossy, but now you can scratch the wrap. So just keep that in mind. In the interest of transparency, I'm gonna show you guys the top. And it's not perfect, it's not pretty, but it will color match, and you know, it's looking pretty cool. But look right here. Boom. Bubbles. Now I can pop these in like a little pinhole and then get rid of the air bubbles, but you know, it shouldn't happen. But again, this is not what I do for a living, so it's gonna be rough. The good news is it's at the top, and the better news is actually these small pieces should be easier to, you know, not get air bubbles in. The top, you know, is just big, and but hopefully as I, you know, work this out, work it down, I'll be able to not have any air bubbles, so in the bottom parts that you see. So now I'm gonna cut around this window. You want to preheat it so it doesn't shrink when you heat it up. So, oops. And I do not have a very steady hand for this, as you can tell. But, oops. I remember saying this back when I wrapped the Jeep for the first time, that people who put wraps on vehicles do not get enough credit, because you know, it's most of the time it's expensive to have someone wrap your vehicle, and after wrapping my own crap, I understand why. Guys, I am legitimately scared to look at the clock, but I'm going to. 3:57 a.m. Well, let's look and see what we've gotten done so far. I did have to put a seam here, so you can, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but there is a seam here. There's a seam here, down there, right there. There's gonna be a seam here. There's going to be a seam right here. And I'm not sure yet about this, what I'm going to do. But remember guys, I have limited wrap left, and I want enough wrap to rewrap my tailgate on the Jeep. So that's why I'm kind of piecing this together, and it's not a show thing, it's just to, you know, from a distance you're not gonna see all the seams. Alright, so it is indeed the next morning. I'm a little rested up now after going to bed at 4 a.m. By the time I took a shower and everything, it was like 5. Anyways, so I think the starting point, got my helper in here. Can you say hi? Hi. Anyways, I think the starting point is going to be to wrap this section right here. But before I do that, I think I'm gonna wrap this like all in one chunk right here, and then trying to think, wrap this in a chunk, and then probably a chunk down there, and then just do one top over. So I think that'll be the game plan. We'll get the wrap out here. We should have, I mean, we'll definitely have plenty of wrap. And just like that, folks, we are down to 2 more pieces. One piece that will run across here and down to here. And then one piece that will run along the back. I still need to sand this part. I just wanted to get everything else done. So the last thing to pop in here real quick are these little vent louver things. They just kind of pop in like so. And then there is a screw hole right here. Grab a screwdriver. I thought about painting that with the gray spray paint I have, but sometimes too much of one color can be a bad thing. And I think that goes for this. Let's go. To recap, I ran the whole top over to here. I had to put grab some heat on that. I had to put a seam here. You can see it overlaps a little. I don't know if it shows. Yeah, there you go. You can see the line. Looking from the front, you can't see it, but obviously looking from the back. Now the reason you wrap it going back is so wind doesn't ever try to lift this up. It's always going to be pushing it down. But there's all sorts of bubbles, creases on the top, especially like when you get into these hard places. You know, there's creases, bubbles. It's awful. Like, it's just, it doesn't look like, it looks good from a distance, but if you get up close and examine it, you're gonna see it. We did a section right here. There's a seam right here. So I ran this as a section to here, and then ran this as a section here, ran a section down, ran a section over the top and down here. You can see got some creases. That was underneath, so this is wrapped over. And And then same thing on this side. We've got some, you know, sectional wraps there. The reason I did it in so many little sections, like I mentioned before, is that I'm limited on wrap, and I want to have a little leftover wrap to have for the tailgate, to rewrap like I already mentioned, and other, like if a fender or something small needs to be repaired or wrapped, I've got a little bit extra that I can fool with. So I decided to just finish this up and show you guys the whole thing. So I actually wrapped the hinges and the bottom piece. It is 100% done now. So there you have it. And I think that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the progression of this. You'll have to wait for the next video to actually see it on the Jeep. Now you can see it is just pouring down rain. And it's been raining ever since yesterday. And it's supposed to continue raining tonight and I think into tomorrow. So the hardtop on the Jeep would be really nice. Hey, stay in here, sweetie. The hardtop on the Jeep would be really nice. I've got the truck, obviously, I can drive, but it would, you know, driving the Jeep in the rain is always fun. So get that back on hopefully soon. And in the next video, the hardtop will be going on more than likely. And yeah, should be cool. Should be excellent. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.